This is the first Arweave Explore session. The intention of these Arweave Explore sessions is to do just that, explore the permaweb and explore the dApps, the decentralized apps that are built on top of Arweave, and also provide feedback for the creators, founders, builders behind the projects, and share with anyone interested, how to interact with these decentralized apps and the whole process. So it'll be a combination of some feedback, and that may assist you as you build out your dApp as far as UI, UX. Of course, these are just opinions, these are ideas. If you decide to incorporate those thoughts or these thoughts, great. If not, totally fine. Just sharing with the world, if you will, some thoughts with the intention, to be very clear, to just improve the overall experience of navigating the permaweb. That is the full intention, and to also enable more individuals to interact with this incredibly important technology that is Arweave, the Blockweave, and the permaweb. All right, so without further ado, we have Permacast, and this is Permacast.dev. One thing to take note of is that their URL has changed. It was Permacast.net. So if that does change on you, just make note of that. You may need to kind of search it, Google, whatever, to get the right address, the URL. So upon landing here, first thing you'll probably notice is up in the right-hand corner, you got add a podcast, you got only arweave.ar. You'll notice the green little icon there, the hedgehog, that's RConnect. You'll need an RConnect wallet to interact with any decentralized app on the permaweb. There's also other apps out there, wallets rather, that you can connect with. Now, getting into some feedback right off the bat, there's some sort of formatting issue here. Obviously not very significant. However, if these can be on the same line, it didn't really matter when I was exploring reducing the window or making it larger. There's some sort of stacking going on here, so if that can pop over to that line. The next thing, a lot of these things are probably in the pipeline. Regardless, I'm just going to share. Have some sort of search to query the data of the episode titles, content, etc. Because there are a decent amount of audio series or podcasts here, and it's a little difficult to discover things, and when more come on board, it's going to be even more challenging to discover. So a search, I think, will be really nice, and possibly even topic tags for each of the podcasts, so that can also create a nice filter experience for those exploring. Now, this team has already done a lot of great work in the upload process and all the technology behind it, as well as upgrades to the design interface. It's pretty dang clean. I think personally, opinion-wise, it looks fresh and clean. I think maybe the floating state can be maybe a little bit reduced. There's just kind of a lot of float state going on. One thing I did notice on the mobile app, or the mobile version rather, was really nice, is that in the night mode, things tend to kind of sit closer to the page, which I appreciate. All right, so now let's get into actually uploading. So what we're going to do is go over here. This is the Permaweb Pioneers podcast, and this is a podcast focused on the Arweave ecosystem and founders, builders, you name it, that are creating on the permaweb. And what we're going to do is we're going to add another episode. So each podcast or audio series gets their own little area. One little note is this is getting cut off here. May want to just make it so it's more square. So most of these podcasts, their cover images are going to be square, and I totally get the round effect. Obviously, it caters to all of this, just a little note, because I've just noticed some clipping in this. Of course, I can change that, and maybe I need to, so it can translate over to more design things. Just a little note there. And then again, the hover states here, just it's a bit much. Also, the justification that these are like center justified or aligned, possibly make those left justified, just to keep it more kind of organized when exploring through the episodes and available episodes. If I go and I tap read more, we get a little modal here, um, which I think is totally fine. I think it'd be really cool to have like each episode have its own like little page. So similar to something like Simplecast, if you're familiar as a listener or viewer rather, that's where you can host your podcast. There's all sorts of services, and of course this is Permacast, which does that as well. You can go in, you can dive into each episode, and that's just really nice. The other thing is, like, when hovering, it feels like a button, and when I click it, nothing happens in this area. So I think that's worthy of note as well. Now, as far as uploading, I actually had difficulty finding where to upload. And then I scrolled all the way down to the bottom. I saw this button. So if this button can kind of come up here or just make it much more visible, I think that's a really big bonus. A general note, just for anyone checking this out, if you're building or whatever, making the buttons really obvious and front and center for the most important actions is obviously ideal. Just to be clear, this team has done a bunch of great work and continues to do so. Sharing some thoughts. All right, so I'm going to go and get ready to upload. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy over the information that I already have for this particular episode that I'm going to be uploading. Now, I'm going to bring this episode name over in just a moment. I'm going to grab this here. And here we go. So this episode is a panel episode. And we spoke with Sam Williams, the founder of Arweave. So I'm going to pop that in. And one thing you'll notice here is, like, I can't really see what I put in here. And if there's a typo, very difficult to kind of pin it down. So if this can be larger, the input field, that can really, really go a long way for those that are uploading. And then what you'll find here is also very similar. So once I put this episode summary in, you'll see that it's really difficult to see what was put in. So, if this can be a paragraph field, that will solve that pretty simply. And those little tweaks I think can just do a lot to make it more accessible for individuals to upload. All right, so now onto the audio file. I'm going to select the audio file, and here it is. It's about 60 megabytes. Make note of this, because when you're uploading an audio file, make sure it's an MP3 format, not a WAV file. In a WAV file format, this is like 700 megabytes. You want to reduce that as much as you can while maintaining the quality. So for those of you that are looking to upload your audio, just be aware of that, because you will be paying per megabyte. All right, so going to open that. All right, now I get to here. I have some decisions to make. I have some details. Now, some feedback here is, listed as an atomic NFT on Verto. I know what an atomic NFT is, and I know what Verto is. However, I don't really know the implications of this. Like, if I don't do it, what happens? So perhaps like a little, I for information that can come out, maybe on a hover state, like just show some details of what that means. Some more information I think can be really great and go a long way. And it's also a great opportunity to educate, what is an atomic NFT? What is Verto? some individuals may have no idea what these two things are. Atomic NFTs is basically all the metadata and the media, the image or audio file in this case, is in one transaction. And Verto is Verto.exchange, which is the place where you can trade profit sharing tokens and NFTs and all sorts of things. They're currently in development. All right. So I'm going to leave that blank because I don't really know exactly the implications of that. And so I'm just going to leave that one blank. And I'd also like to know if I leave this blank, kind of what happens. Do I miss out on it being a Verto compatible NFT, Atomic NFT? I'm not quite sure. All right. So now this is stating how much it's going to cost in US dollars to upload it. And the thing here is it's really helpful. I personally think that, past the cents, it's not really needed to have that many numbers. Just make it, $2.09. And I think that'll be great. And then the other thing is just to make sure that this is actually in US dollars. I mean, it's assumed, however, I think it's always good to kind of reiterate the denomination. Now, one thing I'm going to do before I go on to the next step is actually go over to Arweave fees. And Arweave fees will let us know about how much it's going to cost. Now, that was, let's call it 50 megabytes. Let's call it 50 megabytes. It's right around there. And you can input 50 megabytes and you'll see it's like 18 cents. Now, when I go over to the estimate, it's over $2. So that definitely needs to be resolved because it's obviously misleading and it may deter individuals from uploading. So for anyone checking this out right now, you can always go to Arweave fees and see at the time of upload, how much things are going to cost. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload. And it is underway, which is great. We'll let you know when it's done. Go and grab a coffee or a drink. I'm going to say okay. And now I'm kind of wondering, I did get that modal, I did get that pop-up. However, I'm not totally clear if things are in process. So I think in this situation, ideally there's like, I don't know, some sort of state that this changes, like it's pressed into the page or it's grayed out or something like that, that shows that I'm in the process, and possibly this button can be changed to processing or something like that, or uploading and it's grayed out, because I just kind of wonder, do I need to do this again? What am I waiting for? What confirmation do I need? That type of thing. So, ideally there's some sort of state that is articulated through the interface as I'm waiting for what is next. In the meantime, let's check out what this profile is all about. And looks like we got an RSS feed and we have a tip. So let's check out the tip feature. All right, so coming soon, tip your favorite podcast with news token to show support. All right, that's cool. And so what's happened here is there's allowance set, and which is great. In RConnect, you can set an allowance for what you kind of need to, at what point you need to verify things or you need to log in again, and that's just a safety measure. So I'm going to log in again here, and this will bring me back in to the app. All right, so you just saw that down there. That is the upload in progress that is the R Connect showing us that basically the transaction is being paid for from the wallet. And you'll see here that there is now an upload counter, which is great. I just think this button state needs to change to uploading, and this needs to be grayed out so I can make sure not to click that button again. So we'll be back in just a moment once this uploads. From my experience, uploads for a 50 megabyte file through Permacast can require, let's call it 2 to several more minutes to be fully uploaded. So we'll wait till that uploads and check back in. Like this pop-up just arrived and it just uploaded to 100%, and it says insufficient balance or Arweave gateways are unstable. Now the insufficient balance is not accurate. There's definitely enough R, which really doesn't require much at all for this transaction. Arweave gateways at times can have challenges. There's fortunately a lot of development on that end, so it'll be really nice. So I'm kind of curious of why this is popping up. So something to make note of there. I'm going to tap OK. And then I come back and it says it's uploaded 100%. So, obviously just a bit confused. I see that the episode name and episode description, including file, are blank. And then I see uploaded 100%. So ideally there's some sort of, kind of state check where it's, this is now green or something and it says uploaded. So I can, ensure that I'm good to go. Now, I am checking out down here. I don't see the latest episode. So I'm kind of wondering, all right, it's uploaded 100% and I'm not seeing anything here. So, I get that these things take time and require time and everything. It's just like, I think that maybe in this state, there's a possibility of saying, uploaded to the Blockweave or uploaded to the Permaweb. The episode will be available in the UI below in 5 minutes or so, or something like that, just to ensure that the individual that's uploading doesn't think they did something wrong. So I'm going to refresh and see what we get. All right, so it's still not there. I'll just cut back in once that arrives. All right, so about 5 minutes have passed, and you can see we now have our latest upload, which is great. And so this is that panel episode that we just uploaded. So I'm going to check in and read more. You get this modal pop-up. All right, looks great. Now let's play it. So I'm going to tap that play button. You got this nice kind of tray that has appeared, which is really, really nice. You get that going. So that's really great. Let's see what this does. This is for some audio. All right, cool. Well, so now we have it all uploaded, which is great, to the Permaweb. And, I hope this has helped you kind of explore with me of what Permacast is all about, how it works, how you can upload your own episode, and then also some feedback for the team behind Permacast, which, they're doing a great job. This is such an important utility. I think personally some design updates and things like that can go a really long way to make this experience a little nicer. I know this is really early days. I mean, it's .dev, I think probably for a reason, and they have a lot on their roadmap. So it'll be great to see what is implemented next. And with that, that'll be a wrap on this first Arweave Explore. Thanks so much for tuning in, and just subscribe and send any comments, questions, whatever it is, in the comments or at Only Arweave or wherever you tend to be in the Arweave ecosystem. Just send a mention. All right, have a good one.